If I could just say something, I think the Justice League sucked.
We are good to go to
I'm
discuss.
at the head of the table.
We are here in this amazing echoey room to discuss Star Wars. LAST I don't know how you say Jedi. It's
Judeo.
Hadio. Wouldn't it be Hadio because it's a J? So
No,
Hideo Kojima. you two just saw this movie
we saw
yesterday.
it yesterday morning, yeah.
What did you think about it so far?
Do you want to go first? Or?
I liked it. I like the thing. I won't go into detail, but I like the bold takes they took with it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it in a little bit. What I thought was pretty, the boldness of it, and I like that. Even though there's a lot of people that are saying, it's not like they want the same Star Wars kind of feel to it. I like that they're trying to make it different.
Yeah, and I agree too.
Now, not saying it was a great movie just because of that, but I was saying I like the fact that it kept me on my toes. I wasn't expecting it. I had a genuine shock of what events that happened. And I was
okay.
That was my take from it.
Gotcha. And how about for you, Bo? This is Bo, by the way, across the table from me.
Hi guys.
This is his first video.
This is his first time on either channel.
Yeah, video version.
Yes. His virginity.
I don't have anything to
So
write
scandalous.
about.
Disney now owns Rocky Horror Picture.
But my whole take on it is that just because it was bold does not make it that good. There are some things I liked about it, and it might sound like that I'm gonna completely bird crap on this movie, but no, I actually enjoyed it. It was a very good experience. It's probably gonna stick with me for a while. There are some things that really didn't make sense, either for what happens during a scene with the major villain. We'll get to that in a minute. And just Luke's entire character during this movie.
Okay.
Like, those are probably the two major gripes I have. Other than that, just a little nitpicks here and there. But other than that, solid film.
And how about you, sister? We haven't gotten your opinion on film yet.
Okay.
Obviously, we got mine.
Okay, so I've gone through several different trips with this movie because at first I was like, hell yeah, that was like a real good movie.
The hype train.
Yeah.
We're running on hype.
Yeah, I was like full on running on like hype on that. And then
I know why, because you had just seen the shirtless Kylo Ren.
you think I'm a girl?
Kylo, can you put a shirt on?
He just stands there just...
I'm surprised there wasn't a moment where he's just like jerking off or something. And she's like, Kylo, I can hear you, but I can't see. Oh, right, don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around.
It's like during that, why were we connected this way at this time?
Then I went through like a little phase where I was like, some of these things like of the characters don't really like add up.
Yeah.
Like this was kind of
Rose.
But then like I was
Such wasted character.
maybe they'll save her in the last one.
Don't worry. I
Yeah,
think I know exactly what they're saving her for, but we'll get that a little bit later. So, sister, keep going.
And so I went through like a phase where I was like some things don't like add up. These character like motivations are kind of like wonky. Like some of the character development is going in a weird way than like the other movie was building it up to. It was kind of weird. But then I thought about it some more, and like my ultimate conclusion was that I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It wasn't like an amazing movie. It didn't
fun.
like break new ground or anything like that. It had some good little twists. It had some good little moments. It was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't what it could have been, I guess.
Yeah.
There we go.
And for you, Nathan?
Well, GT mentioned earlier that this movie he thought was
GT.
I thought you were saying like same
This
thing.
isn't Dragon Ball GT. We're not going
He said that this movie was very bold, and my problem with it is exactly the opposite. I felt like it wasn't bold enough. I felt like it didn't take enough chances. It didn't create enough emotional weight. There wasn't a lot that happened in this movie that I felt really mattered. And that was mostly to do with the fact that a lot of the things that they killed off and a lot of the things that they changed didn't really seem to matter much to begin with.
Oh God,
Smoke.
you and I have very different opinions on that. But we'll just roll.
I can see that because like the whole we even talked about it after. We agreed that the whole setup of it doesn't really get that much chance for a third movie, you know, or next movie. It's kind of just like,
Whatever.
what do I do with this?
Yeah,
It's like broken.
Whatever JJ is gonna do, it's gotta be. He's gonna have to pull some strings.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because this movie does kind of contradict the other films a little bit. Like, not like wildly, but like just a little bit. It just kind of.
I will say this: the Force.
Or more like it kind of forgets bits and pieces of The Force Awakens is what I mean. Not contradicts, but it forgets little bits and pieces of it.
What happened to the Knights of Ren?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm wondering if they're gonna like
Like-
show up in the last one because I was like, oh, maybe those red guys are them, but then I was like,
No,
no,
those
that
didn't
was like
go
the
to
Praetorian Guard. or
Praetorian
whatever.
Guards.
Yeah.
My main problem with this movie, when it comes to like how it kind of ties in with the other one, is that it's supposed to take literally a few minutes to like at most an hour after the events of the last one.
And then it starts off with like on the ship and everything, and then we cut the race story, and it's like the second that the last film ended.
Yeah, and then Luke just.
That was good.
I love
That
sassy
was
Luke.
Oh,
I did love Luke.
Sassy Luke. That was one thing
That was
that I liked.
great because it was just like he didn't give a crap about anything anymore. And
Now extend out your hand.
Do you feel it?
Do you feel it?
Wow, the force was really strong.
You meant with the.
Oh,
I liked the jokes with Luke, but I felt like he was mostly a disappointing character.
Yeah, he was.
I felt like he didn't do a whole lot in the movie, and his appearance there was really just sort of
A lot of
didn't
this-
mean a lot.
Yeah, a lot
You know-
of the stuff that was going on with
I
Luke,
felt
it
like-
just didn't seem like him. Everyone's trying to talk over him.
But I liked Luke because it kind of from watching, you know, the best line in my opinion from him was like, I'm not gonna go in here with a laser sword and take
Take down the.
I liked it because it's kind of like they were also, in my opinion, the way they were putting it was like, you know, this is kind of the new generation. He was putting himself, I'm a legend, you know, and they're kind of like, okay, it's time to move on, you know what I mean? Because
And I did like that.
That's what I liked, and then I liked Luke's character just because I like my personal preferences of characters. I like if the person that's like the beacon of hope and everything, I like that. But when it's like, oh crap, I failed. Now they're like downward spiral.
Yeah.
It's not really bad. I like seeing people in distress. But I just liked it because it showed his vulnerability that he wasn't like this all powerful hero, and also it did kind of show his humbleness. That he's like, I'm not this cool guy. What did I do? I went and saved my dad. What did you do? You know, it's kind of that's why.
And then I failed to bring like a new generation of the Jedi.
Oh yeah,
and everything like
and it
that.
was
So-
and I also think it was just kind of like it was that pressure on him too because he wanted to bring order, and he's kind of just like, yeah, I'm done. We're done with this.
To quote Obi-Wan here, you were supposed to bring balance to the Force.
Oh man. Wait, another favorite thing is when either the way Kylo is describing this side of the story, when you see Luke's face in his version of the story, he's like, that made me laugh so much. Like,
Oh goodness, yeah, but I liked how Luke was.
I liked how Luke was.
I enjoyed him because,
I felt like in the original movies he didn't have very much character.
or at least in
He was
the
a
first
typical,
one.
Yeah,
he was a
especially
typical
in the-
protagonist.
yeah.
I think in the Phantom Menace, Anakin was just
He's the
really
John
bad.
We don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about Anakin Phantom Menace.
Oh.
What a great protagonist he was. Now this is pod racing.
Oh
They
god.
should bring back the actor who played Kid Anakin in one of these movies.
Is he like in jail or something?
He like passed away.
Oh,
I'm like pretty sure he did.
well, Force Ghost him then. They can see
I want to jump forward a little bit real
Yeah.
quick because so whenever they're on the casino planet, you know, the most pointless scene in the entire film, and they're like watching the races that are going on. You see like the racetrack for a second. I genuinely thought that they brought back pod racing for a split second. I was like, oh my god, they're actually acknowledging the prequels right here.
And they bring back the
and then they had like those.
Like
The hyena.
horse looking.
Yeah, those
Those are
weird things.
weird. I like the design. But I didn't like the fact that like when they were going, the thing like understood what they were talking about. We need more cover. Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
How did you know
it's this
that?
tunnel thing.
They're too
Maybe
It's the
because
Force. It's the Force, and they did look very
They look
CGI.
so
I-
not there.
I did like Finn when they're going to the ship and it blows up. He's like, "Come on! Like, what's going on? This is stupid."
that's been always.
That's like I like Finn.
That reminds me of The Force Awakens when they're running away from the TIE fighters and they're like, there's a ship just on the other side of this bay or whatever. And he's like, that hunk of junk, and it gets blown up and they're like, okay. The hunk of junk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which will do.
Yeah, garbage will do. That's what they say. Yeah.
Um,
But I enjoyed Luke in this one because I enjoyed the entire thing of him being like, oh, you need to let go. And I was thinking, okay, cool. So we're going to kind of bring in the gray Jedi into this movie, you know, where it's like not like, oh, you have to just solely focus on just the light side or the dark side. You need like a bit of both, you know, to like have balance and equality and all this and everything. And then the movie's just kind of like, there's a point in the film where Luke's like, oh, I'm going to burn down the Jedi secret text and everything, right? And we have the amazing Yoda scene, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Have you read those things? Page turners, they are not.
What Jedi uses meat instead of a lightsaber? Obi-Wan? Baloney!
See, like, I enjoyed that they were, like, kind of destroying, like, those, like, old journals and everything like that. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty...
Doesn't Ray have them?
Yeah, Ray has.
That's the thing, is that I did not realize this whenever I saw it, but I saw, like, a bunch of sources on, like, just a bunch of articles afterwards, and they said that you could see the Jedi text are in a drawer on the Millennium Falcon whenever she's taking off at the very end of the movie.
When the Finn's
And
like
so-
looking around.
Yeah, exactly, and so it's
So
like...
that means she stole them.
Yeah, and so that also kind of means that she's gonna kind of teach herself the ways of the Jedi and everything, and that's not gonna be like, oh, embracing both the dark and the light side, kind of just making it up and starting it all over from the ground up and everything.
Yeah,
I
for
think
as
It might still, you know, you never
I don't
know.
know. Yeah.
I
But,
think
like,
that I should have interrupted.
Maybe she just maybe she just took them to sell them on eBay. This will go for a hefty price.
One of the things about the movie I hated, this is
Give
gonna
me
be
money for
the thing I hated
So
about the
much
movie
time.
with Kylo Ren and everything was that when they're fighting off, you know, they're together and they're fighting off the people and everything. He's like, it's time for everything to die. Like everything's gonna end. And he's like, but you should come and join me. We're gonna roll together. And I was like, what?
I think he should have worded that differently.
Yeah.
I think his intentions were good. Is the kind of like let's
Yeah,
rebel
but
and die.
it was just kind of like,
It's kind
it was just kind of like, I thought you were off the Darth Vader thing, dude. Didn't you like destroy your mask because of that?
Yeah, like-
no, I'm pretty sure he is off the Darth Vader. I think it's just how it was worded.
I know, it was so bad. I know.
Snoke had on
I
it.
just
But
thought,
let's talk about Snoke. for
My
a second.
favorite thing of
Or,
Snoke
you know, yeah.
was when he was laying there and he was like,
No.
that was
So Snoke gets smoked.
That was one of my biggest pet peeves of the movie.
I did not like that.
I liked it.
No.
I mean, it
They
was
should have
cool,
killed him.
but
Like,
It would have been cool if he was a more important character.
you know that actually did
Instead
something.
of being a generic villain
Well,
that did never accomplish anything.
but he was played by Andy Serkis, which makes it.
well,
Like
I,
one
more
I-
special.
I think I know what they were going for. The fact that they killed him off is kind of like they were trying. It's almost like
Yeah, they're trying to empower Kylo Ren.
Well, yes, but they're also trying to make it to where
Yeah.
it's not like, you know, the originals, you look at Palpatine the whole time, they're trying to make it opposite from that. It's like, okay, we're going to face this big guy Snoke, and you're like, okay, he's about to get it going, we're about to see the next movie's going to like make him a big guy. Oh no, he's going to get killed. Whoa, I didn't expect that to happen. What?
See, I think it would have been more of like a better surprise, because as much as I did like, oh, that he kills him and everything, like as cool as that scene was, it didn't have any like real weight to it, because like, you know, we never...
It should have been elongated a little bit.
Yeah, it was like we
Or
never,
fight
we've
after.
never saw Snoke as an actual villain and everything. All he was just sitting in his hologram chair. And,
he did knock Ray in the head.
Okay, he did do that, which was kind of funny.
I also didn't like the editing of that scene. I think it was too obvious what he was going to do. If
You know what?
made it more
I knew
surprise-
something was going to happen, but I didn't know.
As soon as he was
As soon as they showed
He
up,
did it
lightsaber, I was like, oh,
Yeah, as soon as the lightsaber
Was gonna
I was
smash
like,
him off.
no.
I knew he was going to betray him, but I thought he was going to go, hey, Ray, come here, your lightsaber. Dude. I like the fact that they broke Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah,
that was the end of that.
Finally.
We were happy. We were like, this is ridiculous. And we were like, oh, it broke.
Yeah, like, I really hate the obsession with that thing.
Yeah, I can feel you.
Like, I
but you know, the
understand-
Star Wars movies are all about the Skywalker legacy. Those will never die ever, because that's what the movies
Yes,
are.
I did
No more
really
Skywalkers.
hate.
Yeah,
I
pretty
did
much.
really.
Ben Solo, he's still a
Yeah,
Star
there's
Wars.
still that. Which I'm kind of like, okay, like there's so many fanboys that are like, the Star Wars are all about the Skywalker family. Why is it focusing so much on Rey and her SJW black friend and everything like that? I'm like, I hate people so much and like the stupid things that they create arguments for and everything, and they're just like, oh, why is it focusing solely on that?
Can
I'm
we
like,
just turn this into a discussion of how much we hate people?
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Well, you see.
No,
read
did you
the
hear
biggest
about like?
pitch today.
hang on. Did you hear about that like huge thing going around where people are saying like the POC characters,
Yeah.
are like getting like abused in these movies more than the white people.
No, I wouldn't say that. Everyone's treated
No,
pretty
it's
equally.
called Star Wars. Is it Star Peace? No. It's like the main characters, who are mostly like a POC, are getting like attacked and like, you know, beat up and all that stuff. I wonder why. And they're the main characters.
What about Ray? She's not colored.
Shit, who cares?
She was on an island most of the time.
She was on an island most of the time.
And yeah, you're right. She does get like.
What about
beat
the
up.
4 white people who got beat up? What about them?
Yeah, what
Who's gonna
about
think
The
those
famous
4
white people that got blown up during the entire.
The opening 5 minutes of the film.
No, but that's like an actual argument people are having. That the
People are just trying to find stupid reasons to just.
no, because people also go in like with
They
these
bring
goggles
race
on
into
with like
everything.
race, and they're like,
Like with Spider-Man: Homecoming, everyone was getting upset because so many of Spider-Man's classmates aren't just white; they're different ethnicities
you're
and
like,
everything.
who are these
cares?
people?
Honestly, that's how an actual school is. You have colors of like every color of the rainbow in there, pretty much.
I remember seeing a purple person one time.
Yeah, honestly. Did you see the flying purple people either?
Back to the movie.
Yeah, so back
Can't be
to
Justice League again.
so back to Snoke. So I don't know. I feel like if we had seen him actually.
Smoke everything.
They had built him up so much in the previous
I
movie.
feel like-
Didn't
I feel
have
like-
any
With all
payoff
the
to it.
theories going around.
Exactly.
There was no
And like
payoff
his
to it.
face tells a story and everything too, and there's no story that was.
I
told.
do have a theory.
We did
That he was the kid that's
No,
like
no.
Master Skywalker. They're
That is
everywhere.
not dead. I have a theory that is.
I have seen that theory that
Yeah.
maybe he did a force projection.
Yeah, just
he
like
did.
how Luke did.
Yeah.
I mean, Snoke is said to be more powerful than Palpatine.
And that's the thing,
That's what we
and
know,
that's the issue that I have with this movie so far. And that's the issue that I have with this movie so far is that even though they might have some curveball planned for the next film, right now as it stands, he's dead for now, right now. And at the time of us making this video, he is dead, and so. That's fine and everything, but they're like,
Oh, Dad, please, a moment of silence for Smoke. He got smoked pretty hard.
okay,
And that's about as fast as they build him up to.
That's how much screen time Smoke got.
And they're like, oh, he's been around since before the Empire and before Palpatine and before the Sith and everything. They're like, oh, he's this big ancient figure that's always been lurking in the background and everything like that. He's kind of been there. He's been waiting for his moment to seize control and everything like that. And they're like, oh, he's stronger than Emperor Palpatine and everything. But we never see that, They just tell us that.
I'll be right back.
Now I'm the head of the table. I have the Senate.
Not yet.
Should we continue the discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, so I say we continue with our sister. So yeah, and they're always they're just building up the entire time, and they're like, oh, how he's some big important badass hero or not hero, villain character.
He's the
person.
most powerful being.
Yeah, and we never see that.
Of tricks.
The first actual scene that we see him in, with the heroes and everything, you expect some grand fight, he just gets taken out before the fight even begins, and
Yeah, I mean, it's in the most stupid way possible.
Yeah.
That's the simplest trick you could do.
yeah.
I'm glad they showed him getting actually falling in half.
Yeah, I did like that because I'm like, ooh, is Disney gonna? Yeah, he lost his arm. If you didn't realize, it's the
Yeah, I
second-
did. I think I was like,
Somehow, I don't know how that happened.
Well, because if you see
Easy
the lightsaber
lightsaber.
goes out and it goes behind his arm, and whenever they pull it forward, it takes the
He
arm
did
off.
that on purpose. Covered it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure. He's like, no. He's like, I can't be like Vader, but you can be dead and without an arm. No.
I think it'd be really cool to see Kylo, and I think it'd be cool if Kylo did the for the next movie, maybe took the order in his own hands and redid it like he's supposed to, wants to.
Yeah.
But if he became a true balance in the Force, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Or maybe he'll just let sideburns run that.
Yeah, maybe he'll grow some weird mustache or something. I don't know.
It's like a twirlable mustache.
Just
Weird mustache.
You know what if J.J. Abrams retcons the star placement and
It's interesting. Did you go buy that?
No.
How did you guys feel about Poe this time?
I liked him more as a character because in The Force Awakens I did not even care about his character.
Oh, they didn't do much.
Yeah, exactly. He was just the ex machina. He disappears for half the film and he shows up very randomly at the end just to blow up the.
I like the mutiny.
That's also a really big argument is people are freaking out that Poe is just reduced to some stereotype like the hot-headed.
But at least he has a character now.
But
He gets a little bit of development.
Yeah, and his arc is learning to trust other people's plans and to not act
And to be
like a hero.
Yeah.
Not to be.
I did think that thing, other than what it did for Poe's character, was a little weird. that whole going back and forth on their plans.
Okay, yeah. That was a little weird that they like did it.
They did this whole other side
Because-
plan that fell apart, and then like, oh, well, we're doing this thing, but then that fell apart, and it's
And then
like,
the mutiny, which I mean, as enjoyable as it was, as enjoyable as it was kind of completely.
How
unnecessary.
many people actually expected Velociraptors to be throwing out of this film because of Holdo? Who was that lady?
The Admiral lady that's she's in the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's the lady with Dr. Grant.
Oh,
Isn't it?
I didn't notice that.
I expected Velociraptors in this movie.
I did not realize that
tells
was
me that in the movie, and I go, what?
0 out of 10 because no velociraptors in the movie.
No space dinosaurs.
That's like one of my favorite.
Well, they did
Kylo
play the
Ren
Jurassic
was in
World
the
trailer
Tyrannosaurus
before the movie
Rex.
started,
I'm
so
I'm ready.
I guess that's close enough.
I guess.
I'm ready for the dinosaurs to be saved.
Well, but first we gotta save those weird furry animal llama things from the casino planet.
And then the ports.
They climb up.
I didn't really mind the ports.
I didn't mind the ports.
In terms of marketing and how they're literally everywhere, I was expecting to hate them very, very much, but they were fine. So the topic of porgs kind of brings me to something. So whenever they were promoting the movie and they started showing off more of the porgs for the film about a year ago, they were like, oh yeah, the porgs are kind of essential to the story. They're like very in tune with the force and everything.
They're force sensitive.
Yeah, they're force sensitive and all that stuff.
On
And
the
they were,
island, I can see that.
yeah, but that's,
Yeah, no.
they're force
That's where they
sensitive.
decided to settle and
They- but they were just birds and everything that were just there, and so it's kind of like, so this kind of brings me to the topic that they kind of put out a lot of like false press stuff and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like
they can lie, it doesn't matter.
that's true.
I feel like it might have been going in that direction, like all these different ideas,
Yeah,
but then
all the
like
ideas.
as they
In the
filmed
middle
and
of
as
the
they
film, it
wrote,
was like,
that's-
oh, scrap it, we're done.
Because I know with
They
Gwendolyn
were going to make
Christie,
Snoke a Borg, and they decided that was a dumb idea.
but like Gwendolyn Christie who plays Captain Phasma,
Better in this movie than in the last.
I did not think so at all.
I thought she was better.
I think in her 2 minutes of screen time in this film were just as useless as they were
I
in
felt
her
like
5
she
minutes
was-
of screen time.
I felt like
something.
Yeah, I felt like
it's
she was
true.
She was mostly unnecessary in both movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but the thing is, like, she, whenever they were doing like a press thing or whatever, they were like, oh yeah, Phasma's character is gonna be all kinds of badass and everything, and she's gonna actually have like a really cool scene in this movie that's gonna totally justify her entire reason for existing in these films. I did not get that.
I got it.
I kind of got it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I felt she was really wasted.
You gotta dig. Just dig.
Gotta dig in.
Find the motion, pull it out from the back water place you find it from, drink it down, let it go with you, and then expect the unexpected. Star Wars: The Last Jedi this Friday in theater.
Yeah, that would be good marketing right there.
Yeah. I want.
Another thing I thought was wasted was Benicio del Toro as that guy who wasn't even named until the credits as DJ. They made such a big deal about him being in this movie.
I know there was a lot of
I
things about him.
There were
Yeah.
so many theories going around about
Like who he was
Yeah,
and everything. Like I've seen one where it's like Ezra from the Rebels show.
There's kind of a similarity, but no, not really.
I
I was fine with him just being some guy, because that would totally happen. Like some dude could totally screw you over like that.
He does make.
You know
And
what?
Del Toro does make.
That was so loud.
Yeah, he puts character and like charisma into the character and everything like that. But like, the character isn't needed.
I'm sorry, I was trying to work my voice there.
They never explained exactly what happened with the guy with the little pin.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was just a gambler on the planet.
Yeah, I guess.
I think
Like,
He was
why was he
probably
so?
just a gambler.
Why was he so important?
I think he was in jail.
Well, he was
when that
the-
guy got his pin. It was just like a weird.
He was a special hacker, like best
Like, one of the
hackers.
best.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's how you can find him. It's like with the
I
red
did like
pin.
that.
He can for sure get into the Death Star system or whatever.
It was Supreme Leader Snoke's flagship,
Yeah.
which I
So-
still don't think is Snoke, but hey, that's
I did like.
We'll find out by the next film.
We'll find out.
I did like whenever he screwed them over or whatever. That they did
Yeah,
try and
he-
redeem him.
Yeah,
He was
At
just-
least until
It's just business.
Yeah, he's just an a-hole. That's
It's
just
just
me. Yeah, exactly.
I
Lowered business.
Bo and I thought about or talked about this because it's probably that when Kylo was talking to Rey about her parents and stuff, and he's
I
like,
really
he's
like
like,
that
well, he's like, oh, they were not, nobody. We don't think that's true.
Which was my prediction.
Yeah.
I was right all these years.
Well, we think he maybe at that time and moment he may have just said that just so he
I mean,
she would
maybe.
join. Just kind of like, you're not wrong to this story. You're not supposed to be here at all. But if you join
And
me,
I hope that is not the case because
I hope it's the same. I was satisfied with that answer.
I was too.
I was like, that makes it.
I mean, not because I was right or anything, but because it also feeds into the idea of what Luke was saying is like you feel the Force and everything, but it doesn't belong exclusively to the Jedi. You know, it belongs to everything.
Except that nobody can really do it but the Jedi.
Yeah, and that little boy at the end of the movie, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Rian Johnson's trilogy of Star Wars films that Disney has him signed
Oh
up
gosh,
for.
please no.
I'm pretty sure that's what
But
that
you know what?
scene is
I
for.
think that was cool because it's like, you know, before Obi-Wan was Obi-Wan, I mean, they were just nobodies.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't. Their parents didn't matter. You know, you don't know who Obi-Wan's parents are. You don't know who's.
You know
what kind
mine
of.
is.
You know.
We don't
you
know who
who
Anakin's parents are because he just showed
You know
up.
that. You know.
Amy and the Force.
Yes.
You know that. I mean, you barely know anything. I mean, they don't have these backgrounds. Their parents are nobody. They're just people that came and wrote.
And
Well,
the same
they don't have these
thing.
backgrounds until the solo films.
That is
We're
true.
gonna find out all that we need to know.
Yeah.
More than we've ever wanted to.
Han Solo spin-off solo film.
I really want to see the Obi-Wan Kenobi anthology film.
That would be pretty cool because honestly, I like Nathan and I were discussing it yesterday, and we were kind of like he was saying like, you know, I kind of want it, but I kind of don't at the same time, and like I kind of get that too and everything. Like
I want
like
it.
he was more of a mystery
I want
figure.
it,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it'd be cool to have.
I'm somewhat curious about it, but I feel like they've ruined it.
Its production is complete garbage.
Hell and back.
I have no hope for the Han Solo movie at all.
I'm hoping it'll be funny. and hoping we'll get it back.
It'll be funny because you know they're gonna make jokes, but the tone is gonna be completely conflicting with the reshoots that they're doing right now.
I want everything.
Will it be like Suicide Squad?
Oh, it's gonna be worse than the Suicide Squad. It's gonna be worse than Suicide Squad.
equivalent to Suicide Squad, in my opinion.
See, I enjoyed Rogue One.
How dare you?
Everyone dying?
I enjoyed
That's
that.
fine.
Wasted
That's good.
characters!
I
Like,
enjoyed
they're not
that.
wasted. That like builds them as a character.
If
They're
the
like.
characters weren't mostly non-characters, I think it would be better. But it was
I think the only
thing about
disappointing
that movie is
character, really-
K2SO. That's the only.
K2SO is pretty
you don't want to
fantastic.
really feel bad sad for.
That's the only redeeming
I just didn't
character.
care. I didn't care for it either. I was kind of like, okay,
I feel it.
I could have had another movie.
The first half of the movie dragged like hell.
Oh, yeah.
The last act of it, I thought was
Super good. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it was cool the fact that it was like, oh, this is war. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. I like
but it's
that
also
they-
like, okay, everyone.
My only gripe with everyone dying is like as soon as they do something in that final battle, they die. It's like okay, now their purpose has been fulfilled.
I didn't like the
You're gone.
dying montage. I felt like they
Yeah, no,
sprinkled it.
yeah, that's
if they
what I
sprinkled
mean,
it throughout the movie, it would have been better. But it was all at
Yeah.
the end, scene after scene after scene.
Yeah, exactly. It's like okay, now this guy's gonna die because well, you know, the last person just died. The camera's focusing on this guy now. It's,
Yeah.
I agree. If they sprinkled it all throughout more, but I do enjoy the fact that they did kill them off.
Yes.
Because first of all, I went into this movie thinking, okay, Disney, just kill off these characters.
I mean, how would they explain?
Have a
How would
dark
they explain
ribbon.
it later though? When
There was a good fan theory that I saw, another one from a film theory, that was that the core cast of Rogue One would go on to become the Knights of Ren because a lot of the stuff that they use, like in the film, and a lot of their armor and their weapons and everything,
Yeah, like they
are
do that.
very, very
Knights
similar.
of Ren are
Yeah.
similar, yeah.
Yeah,
that
very
was the
similar.
running theory, and I actually wanted that theory.
I did too. I did too.
That would be very cool.
And then we would have at least known who the Knights of Ren are because you know we don't find that out in this movie.
Yeah, couldn't find that out either.
You know what?
There's just a lot of answers that we didn't get.
It
Yeah,
just
I mean,
gave us more questions
for a movie that was
supposed to be
about
about
balance.
Yeah.
Like burritos.
maybe conflicted and torn.
You're right. Yeah, that is a very.
Solid too.
I'm not the hugest fan of nachos personally.
Huh?
I'm
We're
not
talking about nachos. We're talking about food. We're talking about Star Wars. Both
You
just
guys
made a great analogy for
Because
this
you
movie.
can eat nachos and watch Star Wars at the same time.
I mean, you
They
could.
go together beautifully, except for me because I don't like nachos.
I don't like nachos either. Anyway,
Well, repeat what you did just say.
That for a movie that's supposed to be about balance, I came out of that film more conflicted and
You were
torn
falling over.
than I got in.
No balance.
Now you know
No balance at all.
Whoa.
there was a really good balance of how there's no setup for the next movie. No, you know what? About Rey is that
Her parents are no ones.
yeah, but you know, I think she'd be better off.
I kind
I'm
of.
kidding.
Just say it, JT.
I kind of wish that they gave her more training because she's still a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
You know, like she's still
She
perfect
doesn't-
and everything.
She doesn't fit.
I wanted to talk
Things
about
about Mary
is,
Sue, but
Overall,
Well, she's not.
is she a
She's
Mary
not
Sue?
perfect.
Is she a Mary Sue?
I don't
She's
know.
not Technically, no, because there are a few things that are.
She doesn't do everything perfectly.
But for the most part,
but
she does.
Almost.
She's got like
She's
a
She
dangerous.
gets everything almost right.
She's dangerously close, and I felt like
I mean, like Yoda says, like, oh, everything that's in those books she already knows and she already possesses and stuff like that. So, like, there's no reason for her to need those books.
Yeah.
Which, like, why she take them?
Really train her much.
because she
at all.
probably thought
No.
they were important.
But just let them burn. That would've been
I felt
pretty
like, you know, part of they could have explained like the missing link between how she could do things that she could do without training with her parents, which they didn't do, at least maybe.
I'm
for the
still
foreseeable
okay with her
future.
parents being no one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like,
Alex.
as a general plot point, sure, but with the way they had Ray's character been, it would have made more sense if her parents were somebody. That would have explained it more and made her
Yeah.
seem less of a Mary Sue.
But I still like her parents being no one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think it's.
Need my phone for this next part right here. So,
I don't know. I want Ray to just like go. I want her to go into the dark side more, but I also just kind of want her to kind of be rogue on her own. You know what I mean?
yeah, I want it to be her own thing, you know, like not a Jedi, not a Sith.
I don't think she's
the,
going to be either. of
Yeah,
them.
which I'm hoping to God
Which, yeah.
that she's
I
not.
like the part when
I think she
she's
thinks
saving
she's
people.
supposed to be a Jedi, and which is why she took the books and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah.
that she thinks she's supposed to like live up to these standards, and these things are supposed to be important when they're really not. You gotta like build your
Okay,
own
yeah,
thing.
I
You
can see
what
that,
mean?
yeah.
I think the next movie should focus almost entirely on Ray.
For development and everything, Kylo Ren's character development.
He got way more character.
It was so
bad.
good.
I'm on Team Kyle. on
Yeah,
this.
like okay, so a lot of people with The Force Awakens hated Kylo Ren, and specifically the moment where he takes off the mask and he's just a kid underneath. He doesn't like look disfigured or anything. He's just a kid wearing a mask and everything.
To me, my problem was that he had no real ambitions from the Force Awakens.
Other than to try to be like a Darth
Other
Vader.
than to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Which is what he got shoved in his face in the sixth one,
Yeah.
which ignited all the character development.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
And
is-
so, like, for me, I really enjoyed Kylo Ren, like, even in The Force Awakens, because he had this constant conflict with him and everything. He's, like, he wants to live up to this image, but his good nature that's actually in him. I mean, but his actual nature and everything, it's not a bad person and everything, but he's trying to make himself into something that he's not. He's
He's kind of a bad person.
well, yeah, at this point, he's
He
not.
didn't shoot his mom. He's okay.
He's kind of murdered quite a
He
few
didn't
people
shoot his
without
mom.
Yes.
He stabbed his dad.
Yes, which if, yes.
You killed your dad. I didn't hate my dad.
He just shoot his mom because he knew she wouldn't die.
Yeah, but like I really love his character development in this one right here because they really go with that entire confliction with his character and such. And I don't think he's gonna try to be like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna try to be Darth Vader. He's just gonna take over this entire thing and make it into whatever he wants.
Like
to
he
be.
said, like that quote with the get rid of the past, like kill it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he doesn't want anything to do.
Which is practically what the Star Wars franchise doing right now. I mean, they're just killing the entire
Literally,
I would say
they're
more-
gonna have
I
to
would say more
explain how the
symbolically,
Force
though.
started in the first place. Like they're gonna have to explain the
I don't-
Mandalorian Wars at some point. They already did in Rebels. They introduced it a little bit.
I don't want to know about how the Force works and everything. Midichlorians just ruins the entire wonder.
No, not the midichlorians.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
But you know how it was for like the Knights of the Old Republic game, or
I know everyone wants a Old Republic movie,
or
which I'm
TV
down with.
series. I'm down with that.
I'm sure they'll get there eventually. They want a Star Wars movie every year until
That's true.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they just milk it dry.
Oh,
There are
milk it as dry as that alien that Luke melts and drink its green.
They're gonna drag all the green from this like
I really liked his expression as he's drinking the milk in front of Ray. He's just like giving her the death stare, like he's a savage wild man.
That's the real reason Kylo Ren went crazy. He would wake up every morning and find Luke just. He's like, I can't do it. I can't take it anymore.
His slurping is disgusting.
I just couldn't take it anymore.
He fought back
Snoke-
against Luke
Snoke
because he was trying to feed him blue milk in the middle of the night. Blue milk and cookies. Right into him.
Like,
He had like a bottle with like a nipple on it. He's like, come on, come on.
Snoke was a real gentleman. He took his milk and he sipped it with utmost politeness and manners.
Until he got stabbed in the stomach.
Yes.
Can't
And
really
then
sit.
split in half.
Split in half.
Got smoked.
What happened to Snoke's face though?
See, that's what I want to know. Like, he obviously went through something.
He looks worse than dead.
I also kind of like the fact that he like went into
For real.
nothing because that's like a lot how big rulers are, that they're built up to be like these big, huge, powerful people,
Yeah.
and then they're really nothing.
I
Which
feel
you
it.
can look
That's what
at.
I'm saying.
We still got more
Kylo Ren's the big ruler though, so is he?
Hey, wait, this is
But
like
at least Kylo Ren has a character, so you know, like, there are stakes.
the first time we're seeing an actual transition from a person going from apprentice to Sith Lord
That is
without
true.
dying right after.
Yeah.
So he's now a true Sith Lord.
It's true.
So
Except he doesn't want anything to do with
He
the
doesn't
Sith,
want to
though.
be a Sith.
he's gonna be though.
He doesn't want to be put in your little brackets, okay?
So how did you feel about Luke Skywalker in the end of this movie?
Oh, when he disappeared?
Yeah.
I
thought
liked
that was
it.
a good ending.
I kinda liked
the
it.
fact that it did two suns too. It was
Yeah,
kinda like
I really like that imagery. But which is like one of the two shots in this movie that I'm like, okay, this was like astounding imagery. Like we
What
were
was the
talking
other
about the ship going light speed through.
Oh, yeah.
ship.
That was
that was amazing.
beautiful.
How the audio just drowns out and it's silent. And you just see like it just cuts through like all these ships and everything. And it's like black and white and everything. With,
I was wondering why that wasn't
I want
her
that on a
plan
shirt.
from the
I want that.
get-go.
Yeah, like
on my
why did
wall.
she wait so long?
Yeah,
you had like
for real. They
she
could
said dozens of ships
She's
and
like,
then
these
you're down like 3 or
people
4.
try to throw a mutiny on me, so I'm just gonna.
The point of staying on the ship was to stay there to
Distract her.
run things, but what was she even doing? She was just sitting there.
Standing there in awe and disbelief
Yeah.
for like
I mean, if
15
you get
minutes.
to-
Yeah, honestly, like the
Well,
second that those pods
16
went
ships
off,
got
and she's like, "Oh, someone needs to stay behind to control the ship." I would turn that thing around, shot up through them, not to where like literally more than half your fleet gets blown up.
And then you have this.
You're gonna die.
I didn't like that little bait and switch where it's like, "Oh, this has been our plan the whole time. Everything would have been a-okay."
There was no reason for her not to tell people that.
Yeah, exactly, and we already know from The Force Awakens that Poe is trustworthy. He doesn't give secrets or anything. Like whenever Kylo Ren's interrogating him, he has to like dig into his head to get the answers and everything like that. He doesn't willingly tell him like, "Oh yeah, the Luke Skywalker's map isn't a robot that's been shut down for years," or whatever that Kylo Ren needed to know from that scene.
There's
So-
one scene that I liked with Luke Skywalker in it, and it was when R2 came.
Ah, that was amazing. He's like R2.
And showed the recording.
Yeah.
That
He
was
showed Obi-Wan. He was like, "That's a cheat."
Yeah, I like that moment too. That was pretty good.
That was a beautiful.
I really
I don't want
like
to be reminded of my sister and horrible things.
She kissed me. No, I wasn't conscious. Or no, he was awake. He was awake. Yeah, he was awake. My bad.
Yeah, well, before
He was happy.
Yeah, like before he knew. But
Yeah,
He
yeah.
liked it. He liked it. Because I actually watched that the other night too, and he was like, after she kissed him,
Yeah, he's like, put the arms. Yeah, that's right. He does do that, doesn't he? I'm such a smooth
And
guy.
George Lucas knew exactly what he was doing.
Let's talk about Finn and Rose's storyline.
Oh God, do we have to?
Yes,
Can we scrub it from our
be-
memories like it should have been scrubbed from this?
Because we got to discuss this because it's gonna lead into my transition of whenever I said earlier, like I'm sure I know what they're gonna use Rose for in the next movie and what those characters and everything are gonna be for.
what do you think?
So this is what it's gonna lead into. Okay, so
Dead.
no. I wish Finn should have died in my opinion.
No.
I think
I
that would
agree.
have been sacrificed.
It would have
I
been
would've been
because
sad.
I was feeling emotional, like, oh my god, he's actually gonna do it.
There would have added some more emotion.
There was so much tension going on. I'm like, oh my god, he's literally going to kill himself right now to save everyone. I was like, oh my god, he's actually going to do it. And then Rose comes out of nowhere and stops him from doing that. And he's like, why did you stop me? I would have
To protect the ones that we love.
And then she
like,
kisses him.
Yeah,
And it's the most awkwardest kiss. There's no chemistry between it, but I think
I loved his
you've known
face.
him-
I like that
She was like, what the?
I like that they didn't try and pawn it off as like a romance thing. It's like, oh wow, I do have feelings for this.
exactly
girl.
his face
She's
whenever
like-
she kisses him says it all. He does not care.
Is
He does not.
No, it's not that he
I mean, not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't feel it at all.
He loves Ray.
Exactly.
You can even see when they reunited.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a good moment right there.
Not only that, Rose, you only knew him for 18 hours. You thought he was a hero. You then hated him because he was a hated
coward. There was a
16
roller
hours,
coaster
and then
of
somehow
emotions.
you loved him at the end.
Exactly. So what I think they're gonna try to pull in episode 9 is a love triangle. I'm sure they're going to try to pull that between Ray, Finn, and
Would it be a
Rose.
swear technically?
With Poe in there?
No.
Yeah,
With Kylo in there.
Okay, with Kylo.
I don't know.
I don't think there's any romantic
No,
interest between them.
No.
I think
Even though
I think
like,
the opening shot of the next movie, the opening shot of the next movie is Ray's going to be pregnant. Who's the father?
the thing that like saying that there's not enough stuff to go for the third movie. You know, the ending was kind of anticlimactic too. Like, what do we do now? I mean, she's probably gonna make her own lightsaber, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like
Which I still
Like, at the end of
she's gonna have a
Empire.
bow staffy kind of lightsaber. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
The Darth
That
Maul
would be
style
cool.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's what she should have gone with in the beginning. 'Cause
Yeah.
She has the staff.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
little funny scene that they had with Luke
Yeah,
until
and she gets the lightsaber.
What you call it, boy? Hold you up, old man. Tell him. Tell him what really happened.
this is not going to go the way you think. You're on the ground. This is going to go exactly how you
I have to say that for some reason I found
With
that
the lightsaber.
I found that oddly satisfying is when he falls and catches himself. I don't know why he's just like
With the force and everything.
and I'm like
I was like, I wish I could do
You
that.
gonna break it up, man?
because it's just like oh yeah he still has control. It's like oh
Where's your green lightsaber, man?
Yeah, I kind of wish that he used that in the Kylo Ren fight. But I mean, it was a little foreshadowed that it wasn't even there. And I do like the little touch that Luke's footsteps on the salt planet.
Yeah, there's none.
nothing.
I'm impressed with that movie detail.
Yeah, that's a nice little
That was a
touch.
good thing.
Because every step that Kylo Ren takes, obviously he leaves a red footprint behind him, and Luke Skywalker. Yeah, Luke
didn't.
Yeah, so I really like that.
Iconic moment is when he stepped out of that cloud after being shot at.
And
One
it's
time.
just-
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I also like that
He's like, see you around.
yeah
kid."
like, we'll see you around
Do you
kid.
think he's gonna follow him around as
I like that. That's a good
I hope so.
Just pestering him?
Every time he messes up, I want him to
He's
be
gonna be
like,
like, I told you so.
Yeah.
This is your fault.
You know, I was really hoping for some Kristen Haydenson Force Ghost
Yeah,
thing.
I actually kind of was too.
Because there was those rumors that he was supposed to, that Disney brought him in for acting lessons to
Yeah.
put him in this movie or something, or to use him somewhere.
Make him.
Yeah, what did I say, Christian Hansen? Oh, I got that backwards. Whoopsie. But you were saying?
Just use an older guy like he did in the first place.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense that he's young.
Whenever he's a Force Ghost.
Yeah,
give him
it's
more.
right.
I like that idea because that was like the last time he was a true he was truly like pure, you know, until he
No,
turned.
last time he was
Yeah.
pure, he had the bowl cut and he was pod racing. That was the last time he was pure.
No, when he was a slave.
when he was still a Jedi, and stuff,
Whenever-
he still had the right mind, the whatever it's called, ghost mentality, force thing.
I think
He was good.
I think
Force.
Anakin was pure. The last time Anakin was a purely good human being was whenever he floated that pear to Padme.
Wasn't the scene where he was contemplating being a dictator before that one though? That might have been the last time he was pure.
I did like that they didn't try and kill Leia off and some like.
And then she was like,
Well, they said that they weren't going to kill her off.
No.
Yeah, I know. But
she'll just
One
die out.
scene that I like is when she was.
Yeah, see, a lot of people complain about her using the Force.
She is force sensitive.
Yeah, and a lot of people do complain about her like using the Force to like come back to the ship. I found it was fine. I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty cool because I'm like, okay, they're finally showing off that she is.
oh, another one there. We
Or
cried.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We cried.
Oh, really?
We cried.
I was just trying to walk out of the movie theaters. They just killed her off like that.
Yeah, I
That was,
feel you.
I liked how she like flew out of the ship.
I almost walked out of the theater because they killed Admiral Akbar like that.
Oh,
He got noticed. He should have been the one that wrecked the ship through all the stars.
Not this
Oh, that would've been
person.
Yeah, that comes out of nowhere.
What
Like,
is-
Admiral Akbar. He gets sucked out of the trap. That would have been so good because they're like following the ship and Admiral Akbar's like, "How's this for a trap?" And he just blasts it. That would have been amazing.
That would have been.
That was so good.
oh.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, they didn't do him justice.
Oh, my character.
he was the most important character.
We haven't talked about.
He was.
It's a trap.
We haven't talked about. Let's talk about Nazi General Hux.
You mean annoying Craig?
You mean the
He's about to shoot
Chad
him.
and Kylo now? I guess.
The guy he's about to shoot him. He's all like,
It's a fact.
That was the
I like
best
that
scene.
I liked that.
That
scene.
was
He
incredible.
actually was going to do
Yeah.
something for once. Instead
Honestly.
of being the butt of everyone's joke.
I'm still holding.
General Hux in the terrible
Still-
moment, a very bad day.
Hey, I've got a call for General Hugs.
This is General Hux. We will accept your surrender. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'll wait for you on hold.
That was a
I liked that scene, but they just dragged it on.
Yeah, I did feel like it dragged out for just a little
Well, I
bit.
mean, they had to. You know.
Yeah, that's right. It was a distraction. You are right.
The point was it's worth the drag.
Did it have to be that long, though?
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, time flies in movies differently, so you know they.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having. I showed Nathan Valerian the other day. Have you seen that one?
I know I've been warned against this.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's so bad. We all have to watch it. Loreley, I'm a soldier.
I'm not asking you to die for me. I'm asking you to trust me. I'm a soldier.
I have to follow the rules. Time flies when you're having fun. Did you say the 81st floor? Yeah. Because right now I'm currently falling through space. Oh, my bad. It was supposed to be the 18th floor. Good job, Loreley. Don't worry. Everyone make mistakes. The movie is so bad. We should film a video of us trying to watch it and just record live.
I've suffered enough.
Nate,
I got a headache.
I got a headache 20 minutes into the movie. And we walked into the movie the first time.
and throwing it at the screen.
Whenever we first saw Valerian, my sister and I was with our parents, and Dawn of the Planet, or War for the Planet of the Apes was playing right across the room, and we were 20 minutes late to Valerian, okay? And so I looked at the clock and I'm like, hey, War for the Planet of the Apes should be getting out right now, like right out of the trailer, so we'd be able to like walk in and be like the second the movie started right now. And my dad's like, no, we already got the tickets for Valerian, so let's just go on and see it. My sister and I both glanced at each other, and we glanced at the War for the Planet of the Apes title sign thing that was above the theater room, and we just walked into Valerian.
And that was the last time I was alive.
That was the last time I was happy.
You've been replaced by a clone ever since.
Yeah. But what we were talking about? Finn and Rose.
Yeah, Finn and Rose. I thought we were talking about hooks.
We were talking Finn and Rose?
Yeah.
But back
You're
to
just
the
fixated on that one, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I want to talk about
That is the worst part of the movie.
It really is. It grinds to a halt. But fun fact, Mark Hamill did the motion capture for that little drunk alien that's putting the coins in the BB-8. Mark Hamill, I guess, actually lied to Ryan Johnson because he wanted to play CGI characters so badly, like just be like a little alien somewhere in the background. And he's like, hey, can I be this CGI character? And Ryan Johnson's like, sure, have you ever done motion capture before? And Mark Hamill, I guess, lied to him. And he's like, yeah, I totally have done it before. And he just lied to him so he
love Mark
could play a
Hamill.
character, yeah. He's pretty great. He's fun.
We also got a little squeamish when they were
Milk drinking?
not the milk. We were all squeamish during that, but in the casino with all of like the CG that was going on in that and how dense that whole shot was.
Yeah,
It was Scott was like, no, not the prequels.
It was very much like that, yeah.
There was so much going on and none of it mattered, and it just the camera needed to pull out a little bit. I was starting to get, a little PTSD.
I understand,
flashbacks. It was bad.
Like the Senate meetings and everything, and there's that moment where they're talking about like
I was just
politics
thinking
for a second.
of the space battles, and I was thinking of that giant shit in front of the screen that they edited in, that just walks across the screen.
You know what? Yeah, from New Hope.
From A New Hope.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that.
Gross.
I like the fact that like Ghost Yoda was like the puppet Yoda.
Yeah.
I really like that. It
I
looked
like
weird
that.
at first, but like
Because I was thinking about CGI. I was like,
It
that would
was
have
how
been
it was a little weird how they presented him, but
Yeah.
it got better. as
yeah, like the longer that he was on screen, the longer. Like
He
the easier.
was just there to troll Luke. That's the only purpose he had.
It was so good though.
Which is a
I was
completely
smiling that
Yoda
entire
type
moment.
But he's just like, I'm gonna summon the lightning.
Page turners, they are not. Would you like to hear a funny joke? What is the temperature of a tauntaun? Lukewarm.
You know where that started?
I'm glad that you watched that.
You know where that started up from, right?
What?
It started up from Game Grumps. The guy.
I remember you telling me
That's where it started. That's where it started from. It's him doing that, and so they're playing like a Super Mario level, and the guy Aaron just starts like busting out like this just random Yoda joke, and that's where it stared. And so it is the.
Yeah, I remember JT was saying that in class one day, and so then I was like, oh hey, that's a funny thing.
I was like,
And then I saw a video where this guy had a latex Yoda puppet, and he's making these terrible jokes. And he's
This for lots.
it was certainly in my case. But so he's like,
Hey, Brian, would you like to hear a funny joke? What does a overweight Jedi use as a weapon? A fat saber.
so like in the video.
so that's why I bought that
Yes,
latex
yes.
Yoda puppet. It's the exact same one, and I searched all over eBay for it. I got it for $40.
It's a very good use.
Oh, I have. like weird. If you notice the track in the background is the Order 66 song. Whenever I'm doing that, I was like, let's make I was editing that at 6 in the morning. Like I recorded it at 2 in the morning and I edited it at 6 in the
Christian
morning.
was gone. He was in the astral plane.
Yeah, I was like, how awkward can I make this?
Remember we were talking about Star Wars?
Yeah.
Right, so Finn and Rose, their story is essential to the plot, right?
What's Star Wars?
I think it's the one with Captain James Tiberius Kirk and Lieutenant Spock.
Oh, is that when Kirk finds out that Spock is Darth Vader's father?
Yeah, he screams out, "Come on!"
And that big fight between Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Captain Kirk. And the pod racing.
Well, we can't forget Iron Man too. He was in there because they're all under the same.
That's only after Batman figured it out.
Howard the Duck. You can't forget Howard the Duck.
Because Howard the Duck was there too.
Howard the Duck took over the bridge, fired the Death Star beam.
While reading Play Duck magazine. It's a great scene from that horrible film. It's like in the first minute or so.
And then Pikachu said, "It's because I love you" in English.
Oh my god. You've taken it too far.
That one gets bad.
It's because I love you.
It's the Force.
That's not how the Force works. and then Woody and the rest of the gang leave Andy behind as he goes off for college.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the other way.
That's the entire plot.
Yes, it really is. I think that's where the episode 9 will end right there.
Yeah.
You know, after the love triangle plot lines.
It'll be the children, everyone dying.
All of the children together.
I think we should all die.
You know what? You know, it'd be really funny if Disney made kill everyone off, but in gruesome ways, bad, like Kylo's getting crushed by a wall. They turn into Saw. He turns into Saw. They get normal swords. This Ray game.
Ray's like, "Hello, Kylo. I've prepared for you a game. Unless you turn off to the light side right now, I will just put you through this game. Inside, I see that you like emo, so you'd always cut yourself. Well, you know what? Now is your opportunity to cut yourself and be able to live because you're in this maze of razor wire." I'm trying to remember how that scene actually goes from that movie.
That'd be hilarious though. They're just Disney's just screw it.
They did say that
We
they're
can put
gonna-
out anything.
Instead of cutting in half, they cut his head in a fourth.
they did say that.
I'm noticing the tracker and the camera's always on his face or your fist.
My fist. Oh, you're right.
They were connected at one point.
They were connected at one point.
The other time when it was on my face, I was like,
Yeah, that's right.
Let me pass it off to you.
But Disney did say that they were open to doing R-rated movies now. They have Deadpool.
Yeah.
That Deadpool is.
It's not that they're open to it; it's that
that
they're
they're
trying
gonna
to take off about
Yeah,
it.
and they use money.
Disney headquarters would get firebombed otherwise.
By those bombers from Last Jedi.
Unfortunately, they're very incompetent.
Those don't make sense.
Yeah, because there's no gravity in space, so how did those just drop? Unless the ship is Unless the ship is
The
big
ship
enough
probably has its own
to have its own gravitational field. I can kind of believe that because they were right above it.
So, did any of y'all actually play the?
They're gonna die anyway.
Oh, did we play Battlefront 2? No, I did not.
The new
Do you care for spoilers?
No, I don't care. I pretty much know what happens in
For
there.
those, spoiler warning here.
Battlefront 2, I guess.
Yeah, but the dreadnought at the beginning of the movie, there are actually plans of it.
Oh, for it in Battlefront?
It wasn't in the actual game, just for the DLC for it.
Oh, okay. So
But- Yeah, I like that little tie-in right there.
Gotcha.
That was actually pretty good.
that's like whenever Batman Arkham Asylum
Yeah, I was
had
about
a
to think
hidden
that.
wall that you could blow up and it has
Uh-huh.
plans for Arkham City in there.
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool one right there. I really like it.
I like all those except for Origins. I don't like Origins.
I like Origins. It just wasn't it wasn't a step up from Arkham City or anything, but I mean
Origins was
Arkham City was
Origins
by far my favorite.
Arkham City was the best one.
Origins was beautiful though.
Arkham Knight was a bit of a disappointment after you kind of sit around and think about it because they just force you into the bat tank.
How much did it make you feel like Batman though?
It made me feel like Batman. For sure.
He lives back.
Every review that starts off for all those Arkham games tell you feel like Batman. I felt like Batman.
I felt like the disappointment I was in there.
Back to Finn and Rose's
Oh my
love story.
We keep going back to this. We want to avoid.
So-
One-sided love story.
Yes. So, do you think that kid is going to be the kid that Rose gives the ring to and forces the broom to him and everything? Do you think he's going to be the subject of Ryan Johnson's?
I don't know if he's
What
going
if
to be
he
the
retracts
antagonist.
it?
I feel like he's going to be an element of it.
And
I don't know. It
I
might spark more rebellions going on, but
See, which is what Which I
In 30 years.
which I do like again with the whole like Rey coming from nothing, because obviously
Yeah.
that kid would have came from nothing. And
That's
now,
what I was thinking.
Like the
too,
Force,
the opportunity. it
yeah,
has.
exactly. The Force is finally having an opportunity to be like equal, because like it's gonna be open to everyone, or like maybe not everyone, but like more people than just exclusively like the Jedi or the Sith or whatever. So
It's more for the
well, you know,
Jedi
really cool.
than
You know,
the
it'd be
Sith, because there was like only 2 of them.
If they made
unless
a
you count the
third
Clone Wars, which has like a Savage Ventress, a Savage Opress, Darth Maul came back for some strange reason.
they'll put a robot leg on Snoke.
Just one.
Just one leg.
Just one.
It's gonna be a pogo stick.
He wasn't like a 20-foot giant. He was actually just
Just a tiny.
It would have been amazing if he was like Yoda size though.
He's that big.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool if
He fits
like
in the
from
Hobbit
the
man.
I guess that was kind of everything to hit, right? Like the major points.
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, let me double check my notes, because I
still
did
have to talk about
You had
Pierrot,
notes
though.
for this?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of them. Like literally what I have on here. Phasma still sucks. CGI was a bit noticeable. Some of the
didn't
editing.
see all the fast.
Oh, you know what? Some of the editing. That reminds me. So in my review, I say there's a moment or a couple moments where the editing just kind of felt off to me, and it just kind of cuts abruptly to different things. So
What were some of the scenes that you thought?
yeah, so specifically the big one that I was talking about in my review is whenever Luke's like, okay, sit on this rock, put your hand here, and feel the Force and everything, and she's like starting to feel it, and he's like, now what do you feel? And she's like, the island, and I don't know, it's just like how they did it. It's like in the middle of what she was saying, like
The island
or something,
image
it
comes
just
in
cuts.
first, and it finishes.
Yes, yeah, it just cuts straight to the island. It's not like it cuts to the island, and she's like,
It's the Animal Planet. It's Animal Planet. It's what it was. I feel the nature. They see the nature from it. It was Animal Planet.
It's all just stuff in the image.
We see those like
I feel
weird
death.
like animals just like milking like.
I see you milking carrots.
I see death. That's weird. I tried to kill Ben a long time ago. This is really.
No, okay, I do like that where it's like, oh, I see peace, you have like the porgs nesting in their thing. It's like, I see death, you have the shattered porgs eggs as if they're like
porgs
tearing apart and everything. Did you see the baby porg that they had in the movie? It was kind of gross.
Yeah, but
I kind of wanted to throw up a little bit. It reminded me of Diglett, but white.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Diglett.
disgusting
I hate
dog. I'll flash a picture of her on the screen right here. Oh, that was scary, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Did you copy that on the screen?
Maybe the actual Diglett. Nope.
Oh, right.
Halloween is over.
Copyright.
Jump scares are done. Stop with the diglets.
So that was that specific moment right there where like it just kind of jumps straight to those imagery, and so it's kind of like, oh, I feel this, I feel that, and they're just kind of jumping. It like
Yes.
but like that first time that they jumped to the shot of the island, it just felt very abrupt and it felt very weird to me.
The whole editing in that scene was
The scene,
abrupt.
like-
And the story in general was kind of abrupt because I felt like they really rushed through
They did kind of get through
Luke's
all those.
training and all of that stuff.
Are you looking at Phasma Still Sucks?
No,
Brad, you were right about.
Yeah, it is on there. Brad, that I was right about
I think
her
we've done
parents.
that a few times, so
Oh, yes.
cross that one off the list.
The thing I also kind of think was a bold choice is that they didn't technically have a single lightsaber duel in the film.
Yeah, technically no. It was a lot of fist fighting. And just kind of, yeah, that would be kind of cool.
The Astroform Matrix move Luke did. Boom! I was like, okay.
I wanted Kylo to get like wounded and punch his wound again.
Yeah, that's
was
pretty
so,
good.
like,
I really like that
awesome.
element because he's using that pain to like kind of feel his.
Or when Snoke brought it up in this film, you were beaten by a girl who's never held a lightsaber before. I was like, thank you.
Actually, the black guy tired him out. He just finished the job.
And not only that, the Wookiee shot me.
That's true.
With that huge bowcaster that
I'm
sends people
sorry, but
flying.
technically my hairy uncle shot me too. So you know that doesn't help.
My hairy uncle, cousin it shot me.
Yeah. Anything else we want to add into here about like disappointment or what else we enjoyed or whatever?
Overall, I had to say, you know, because I'm like into the whole lore aspect of it. JT.
Sorry.
Yeah. It was okay. It's different, and some of the things I do like. The Force abilities I like.
Yeah.
The action was okay.
I for sure feel like it needs a second viewing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
needs. I'm gonna be seeing it Wednesday, so.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
Because I was watching
I've
it
already
the second
seen
time,
it.
it was already
Seen
starting to
it,
sit
seen
better
it.
than
Twice.
normal.
No, just once.
Oh, okay.
I did have somebody say that they had a friend that once they saw it the first time they didn't like it, but when they saw it a second time it was a lot better.
Yeah,
It was okay.
And that's what Grace was saying.
Yeah.
She works at the
I
theater.
work at the theater, and so I went in there to sit.
They stormtroopers. I'm sorry.
Which apparently Edgar Wright and his brother Oscar are rebel soldiers somewhere in the last 25 minutes of the movie.
Ooh.
So now, yeah, he said that it's somewhere in the last 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's a set picture of him. I'll flash it on the screen right
There it is.
Yeah, but yeah, he's in the movie. And
Also, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Ryan Johnson's credit card was somewhere in the movie,
Credit card.
and you can actually
It was
see
when Kylo Ren was buying L'Oreal hairspray. Ka-ching!
The Stranger Things too, we can get in there.
the Farrah Fawcett seawater, salt, whatever it is. Only when your hair is damp, not dry, not wet, when it's damp.
Jesus.
I was looking at her story on Snapchat and it said,
We should advertise our Snapchat accounts.
that was so fun. I liked it.
So I've got, here's a me, Nathan's excluded from this. Here's a sister, here's a
I'm a real
JT,
man.
and here's a Bo.
Hey.
So add them on Snapchat. Follow us on Snapchat to see our daily lives and whenever we're pooping and peeing, because we definitely post that all the time. Every
Month.
time. Yes, every month.
I will use it probably
The only time
every couple weeks.
Yeah, Bo doesn't go on.
Why don't we just talk
That's
about
okay. That's okay. It's good that you actually have a life detached from social media and TikTok.
I haven't told you or bragged to you people yet, but my boss at my work saw my Kylo Ren costume, and he wants me to come in for this field trip. 400 kids are coming in from Abilene ISD or whatever.
Okay.
Abilene LSD.
ISD.
How dare you discuss that in Rock here?
LSD, Lakeshore
Anyway,
Drive.
but he wants me to come in dressed up and pose with the children.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just make a soundboard of 3 lines Kylo Ren says. Whoa, is that the real Kylo Ren? I'm gonna finish what we started. Kylo Ren, can you take a picture with me? You need a teacher!
I can show you the ways of the
Does it change your
I love that line
Yes,
so much.
It does? How much was that?
I got it for $80 from GameStop because back whenever Arkham Knight came out, I pre-ordered the entire.
$30 and a few favors. Might be more for you, might be less.
Well, it was for sale for $80. I got it for $60. And so what had happened was I had pre-ordered the entire Arkham Knight Funko Pop line, and it took them 4 months to get them to me, even though they kept on saying oh yeah, they're available online and everything. So they're like, okay, sorry about that. We'll give you a $10 or a 10% off coupon or whatever it was. And yeah, I got it.
You're like,
And then I have the Black Series Kylo Ren lightsaber.
Yeah, I really want to use Skywalker lightsaber, so we can finally film that lightsaber video I wrote years and years ago. Where do you think that this sits in terms of ranking for the Star Wars movies?
I give it a 4.
I would say it's about a 5.7.
5.7?
I give it an 8 because I still like it.
To be honest, I'm a little neutral on it.
I feel yeah.
I'm a little neutral
I'm an
on it,
8,
but
but
I'm
I'm more like a
slightly okay with it.
See, for me, the biggest thing about the movie is that it just was a little disappointing. It's not a bad movie, but it's nothing special, you know.
Yeah.
It's a 6 for me.
Yeah, I gave it a 7.5. Horrible Star Wars puns out of 10. Sister, what do you give it?
I give it a 7.8.
7.8? Okay. And Nathan, you said 6 out of 10? Okay, so yeah, there we go. I'll average that out, throw it on the screen there. Our Real Talk rating average, right there, on the screen. Yeah. Everyone, dang. Yep, there it is. Present it right here, right there. Yeah. Oh, JT's trying to eat it.
You ate my ratings.
Well, so is that everything?
That's it. That's everything.
All right. Well, there we go. I hope you got a lot of insight. Continue watching my videos. Comment below. Let us know what you thought of Force Awakens. Did we spoil this movie for you?
The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Comment below. Let us know what you thought of The Last Jedi. If you haven't seen it, you practically have now. I don't know why you're watching the spoiler talk if you hadn't seen it, but you know what? What do you think about this movie? Where do you think it stands in the entire franchise? Comment below and let us know if we spoiled this movie for us and you absolutely hate our guts and you're gonna murder us or something like that.
Well, then you should have seen it.
Yep, should've, would've, could've. But you know what? Let us know how much you hate us for spoiling this movie if that's the case for you. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, do whatever you want with it, unless you're gonna do gross, weird things to our faces, and don't do that.
Please don't.
That's not
Anywhere else but the face.
Kylo, what are you doing? Don't turn around, Ray. Don't turn around. Don't, Ray, stop looking.
Alright.
Okay, so here's an end card.